Hey everyone, Defias Axman here. I wanted to throw out my review for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for the PlayStation 5. I do want to assure you that this is a spoiler-free review. We'll be focusing on what I liked about the game and some nitpicks I had while I was playing. So, let's get started. First up, I would like to talk about some of the nitpicks I had because there's very few of them. Honestly, this game was amazing to play. But just some things that I want to make you aware of that I experienced while playing it. Starting with the first thing, which is traversal in this game. The traversal in this game was a little wonky for me. I found it to be kind of hit or miss on how I wanted to move around the map. Sometimes I'd find myself getting stuck on some invisible walls, or maybe finding something that I thought I could climb or jump down that prevented me from doing so for one reason or another. Things I did think was awesome about the traversal in the game would be something like the chocobos, having the variety of travel, because each area of the game had a specific chocobo that most of them had like specific traversal options. I thought that was really neat. Additionally, one thing I want to bring up is the characters in the game. When I was playing, I was a little sad to see that some of my favorite characters are not playable. I won't mention who they are, of course, spoiler free and all. But I really wish I could have gotten to play as some of them. In fact, one of them is a mainstay on the original Final Fantasy VII party. Once I unlock him, he's in my party permanently. So I was a little sad to see that. I hope they do bring them back in the next game. I'm sure they will, but we're hoping that we'll see a great combat system for them as well. The last thing that I really wanted to pick on was the fact that this is an open world game, and with an open world game, we do get some pretty overused tropes that I'm not a big fan of anymore. I used to think they were cool way back when, but now I'm not excited when a game has them, and that is what I call Ubisoft Towers. Ubisoft Towers, if you don't know what that means, is basically kind of like from games like Assassin's Creed or Far Cry, where you'd climb a really tall tower to unlock areas of the map or side missions or get some information of some kind. I really am not a big fan of that anymore. This game had it. I kind of wish uh, games would come up with more creative ways to bring that aspect to a more modern way of doing it. Now, those are my nitpicks. I want to move on to the things I really enjoyed about the game, starting with the soundtrack. The soundtrack was probably one of my favorite parts. I really enjoyed it. Nobuo Uematsu did a great job on this. He remastered a lot of the tracks from the original, added some new tracks. They have some really neat new songs in it. I won't go into specifics on those, but there's some good ones I'm thinking of. I know I was just humming along the entire time I was playing this. That's a huge nostalgia hit for me. One thing that I was also pretty happy with was the pacing of the game. I found that it slowed down for me a little bit when I was focused on doing the side missions and trying to 100% an area, 100% an area before moving on. I don't really think that that's really an issue though in this game because I was choosing to do all the extra work rather than continue with the story. If you probably continue with the story, pacing wise, you'd probably finish it within 30 hours. I was just focused on doing everything else and trying to unlock everything. But literally, if you just do what you need for the summons, do what you need for some of the intel so you can get some materia from Chadley, then you're pretty good to go. Just move on to the next area. Do all your side missions later. In terms of performance, I just want to say that this ran great on the PS5. I don't think I experienced any stuttering or graphical issues at all. So I was really happy with the performance. Even when the combat got a little dicey and there was a lot going on, I didn't really see anything going wrong technical wise. Uh, One of the highlights for me in this game was also the amount of time they spend on each character and developing them in their own way. They had a lot of character development in the first game, so they didn't really have to do much in this. But it was nice to get some backstories on some characters like Tifa and Barret, and so on and so forth. I was really happy about that. As far as replayability, I am excited to say that this game does have a ton of it. Not only did I spend 80 hours on the main story and side missions of the game, but there's also a new game plus, which comes in the form of a chapter selection. So you can go to specific parts of the game you particularly like, try a harder challenge on them, unlock new things, and level up your characters even further. Wrapping things up, I really enjoyed the story of Final Fantasy VII. The combat was amazing. The open world was beautiful and well lived in. I was really happy with the character work, the voice acting, pretty much everything else in this game. Really made it a masterpiece. I really think, longtime fans who've enjoyed Final Fantasy VII in the past, or any Final Fantasy game for that matter, will enjoy this one. It's a huge improvement over recent Final Fantasy games. And then on top of that, there's really a lot of depth when it comes to the story. Just want to thank you all for tuning into this review. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, like, or subscribe for more content just like this. And as always, feel free to share your thoughts and experiences with the game in the comments below. Until next time, happy gaming. Bye!